Yeah, women always be like
You're now
doing a
you're on
great
tape.
job with everything. Women
Yeah.
be mute like this, and men be mute like this.
I think you have to leave a pause after the first one.
They did it really quickly.
Okay. They were just like, and then well, they didn't make that grunting noise, I guess.
When I do this, does it look like my face is just moving around really fast?
No, it looks like you're having an earthquake.
Cool.
Mm,
Ah!
mm. It,
Great for an audio format, right?
yeah. People don't do that in an earthquake usually, I think. You're not supposed to run around screaming in an earthquake, at least. I guess if you're outside, maybe that seems like a good idea.
Maybe
Like
I'm
if you're
mute and I'm in an earthquake.
like if you're in a big field and there's an earthquake, I mean, you could run around screaming. It'd be fine, right?
Well, look, it's not time for earthquake. It's time for hurricane.
That's true. You don't have one. The weather map made it look like you have a nice sunny day.
Yeah, I think we get rain on like Saturday.
Okay. I guess I walk through a I don't even know when I walk through typhoons anymore because I don't pay enough attention to the news.
Jeez.
I was just like a few nights ago, I was like, gee, this is certainly a lot of rain.
It's like since we have so many trees here, it's just like it rains a little bit and then our power goes out for 4 hours.
Yeah, that doesn't sound exciting. Um, I don't know. You want to talk about the universe?
Let's talk about the universe.
Hello. This is Oral Hygiene, where we talk about experimental films, educational films, cult films, interesting documentaries like this one. This is Matt here. With me today is Dark Dalek. I think you're supposed to scream annihilate or something, but whatever.
Annihilate. I haven't seen it.
uh,
That. I haven't seen any of that.
you haven't seen any of it? Really? None of that?
I saw one episode in the 80s and I thought it looked like garbage, so I never watched it again. And then I saw one episode from like a couple of years ago and it was really kind of sad and dramatic. I was like really confused how it got from point A to point B, but
Well, it depends on what episode you're watching.
it looked better a couple of years ago for what
It,
it's worth.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, anyway, this one is what? No, it's not BBC. It's Canadian, the National Film Board of Canada or something.
CBC.
It,
That's yeah, Film Board of Canada.
I mean, they
Even
still
though
work for the Queen.
I did see YouTube comments from people who said they saw it on the BBC, so I think it just sort of made its way over there because it's really good. Spoiler.
Up,
Whoa. Whoa.
what a spoiler you had.
Spoilers. I spoiled everything.
Yeah. What
Anyway,
were we
much
saying?
better than the tech support of this podcast is the film universe.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. When did Stanley Kubrick move to England? Because basically, he just went to England and never came back, if I remember correctly.
I think because he was afraid to fly, so he went there on a boat and then just
Didn't
never
want to take
left.
another boat. I mean, I guess I'm kind of rocking
Yeah.
that myself, so I can't say anything. But I'm just wondering if he was like watching this in merry old England or somehow caught it in the States or what. Because this, I guess we need to point out this is a notable influence on Kubrick, and is where he Douglas Rain did the narration, who later voiced Psycho Computer Hal in 2001, of course. He doesn't get a
Was
credit
it?
in this film. I
I
thought
thought
that
it
was
was a
weird.
different name.
No, no, no. There's commentator, but that's not the guy talking. The guy talking is Douglas. That's where I told you I had to do like 10 minutes of
Interesting.
research because his name is not in the credits, or he's under a different name for some reason. But yeah, that's where the research came in because it's like I'm pretty sure this is the one that he did the voice for, and I went searching and finally found confirmation that it was. But yeah, it's really confusing because it's not in the credits.
Weird.
But I mean, you watch this thing, or I guess more like listen to this, and you're yes, of course that's him. It's pretty clear. I guess he sounds less like he's going to murder you, slightly less like he's going to
Mm,
murder you in this one. A cold,
true.
calculating murder. You know,
He just seems like he's just gonna sit back and let you die.
right? Yeah, that's cold calculating, right? Like you set
Yes,
up your
that's
jigsaw sort of mousetrap machine and sit back and watch.
Is there any colder calculation than looking at someone and saying, eventually you will die, and then leaving?
Well, I mean, is that too much truth for you, man?
It's pretty cold.
So tell us about the universe.
Well, most of it is apparently in our solar system.
Hey, get out of the solar
Also,
system.
we're skipping Uranus.
No, we didn't. They mentioned it.
They mentioned it, but they skipped over it. They didn't
Well, they
show it.
they didn't have a photo of it yet.
They showed Pluto, but they didn't show Uranus.
Well, this is family television.
Hmm.
Okay,
You
where
know,
so that's your summary that it talks about the universe, but mostly in the solar system.
yes.
Okay, sure. This does, and I don't mean this as a criticism, but this is totally seems like the kind of film you'd take a nap in Disneyland in like 1962
Yeah, it does seem like one of those
because it was
what do you
really
call
hot
them?
outside and now it's air conditioned and you want to watch the movie, but you just fall asleep anyway.
Panoramas.
Right, right.
Panorama's 360-degree video where you look around and there's Pluto on one side of the room and then there's no Uranus on the other side.
Yes, yes. You gotta look down for that. Okay.
Hmm. You have to
So
yeah.
we're yeah. I just was like, should we trust Hal to humanize science? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, how many people did Hal kill? One,
no, he killed the people in hypersleep.
two,
There were like three people
five?
yeah, like five,
So he
four or
killed
five,
five people.
4 or 5. Yeah, I think it was three guys.
So less than your average policeman.
Okay, yeah, that sure. So Hal is more
I
is more
guarantee you that if this was real, people would have like little flags on their car with a gray stripe and it would say back the Hal.
okay.
The
Sorry,
thin gray line.
I did think about because people almost never put stickers on their cars in Japan. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh yeah, stickers on cars.
Yeah, you have to see the memes to understand it.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's just like people want to rock their cars like white cars, no stickers. That's how Japan rolls.
Listen up, liberals. I have 7 semi-automatic weapons and I'm giving them all to Hal.
All right. How many arms does Hal have?
As many as he wants, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess all the little things. And well, he's got that big arm to chop off old Frank Poole or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that could hold like 6 guns, probably.
Yeah. That would have been cool if it had 6 guns and just blew them away in space.
I love how this is the most dry science factual documentary that we probably could ever done. And we're just talking about how many guns rednecks would give to Hal in the future into his one arm.
The past, it's 2001.
Oh yeah, whoops.
Those are
Man.
2001 era
Oh yeah.
rednecks you're thinking about.
Yeah, those were really into guns.
That's right. So I guess other than that, the chief calling card of this film are the special effects, but they're pretty special for 1961.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I think they look better than every Marvel movie put together.
Yes. The only one where I was like, that's being a little cheap, folks, is near the end they start. I mean, it's still cool. Like if I was like on LSD, I'd love it. But all those mirror image stuff, I was like, well, you're just using a mirror, folks. Like get that. But yeah, a lot of the other stuff, I'm like, I don't know how they're doing that.
Yeah, some of like the lava scapes and
It
neat
was like
looking.
we felt like we were when we were leaving the universe, the galaxy. It kind of looked like we were like entering black and white V'ger, from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I like that.
Yeah. Wonder if
There's
this influenced that too. I guess it did because that just sort of ripped off 2001. But
yeah, yeah.
hmm.
And there was like broccoli in space or something earlier. They were showing an asteroid. It looked like broccoli.
I
But
was
to
like
be
wondering if I missed something. I was like, did I take a nap and miss the broccoli?
now it's an asteroid. Did you get the asteroid?
I saw the asteroid. It was cool.
Yeah, as it was entering Uranus.
I put in my notes asteroid belt, my favorite. And then I said NASA hates these. They just shot one.
Oh, right, exactly. I was about to say because I was like, I was thinking, does it look fakish? Because we got that shot just before the probe hit that asteroid a few days ago as we we're recording this. But I was like, well, that looked kind of fakish too in a way.
Yeah, because that was probably faked, and the real probe like went
It, to
to uh
Uranus.
yeah, Uranus. I was gonna think of a country that we would have a reason to send a probe to, and I just couldn't. There are too
But
many.
I did not. Did you look at the shot? I'm talking just
The
before
the
impact.
the Dart one? No, I haven't watched it yet. Actually, I'm terrible.
Because it looks like there's a bunch of boulders on them. Like, how do they stay on there? So maybe Super Mario Galaxy is like more accurate than we think.
I think the truth is we don't have much we don't really have the power to blow up a lot of an asteroid without spending a bunch of money that nobody wants to spend.
Well, they were just what did they say? It's like the what the scientist said was or one of these scientists, I don't know which one, said it's like hitting the Great Pyramid with a golf cart, like it'll just leave a dent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the
Well,
dent
we
is
we
supposed to
could
nudge the trajectory, right? So
I mean, if we really got together and put the entire world's economy into something to blow up an asteroid and spent
man,
years on it and then sent a big giant rocket that's like the size of like a skyscraper into space and then really dedicated it to blowing up an asteroid, then we could do it. But
come
you know,
on, if we really pull our resources together as a human race, we could blow up the Earth.
if yeah, if Russia decides they're going to blow up the Earth first, then we're going to do it.
That's great. Our
Wow, I
government's
hope
entering a race to blow up the Earth.
I hope this isn't really I hope this isn't a sad podcast to listen to in the future.
When the Earth's blown up and it's just radio waves like bouncing
Yeah.
through endless space with
Someone
with
finds it on
Douglas
a server.
Rain, yeah, narrating.
Some frog people find it on a server in like 3,000 years.
So recently, I've watched several sci-fi films in this vintage. So that is where the effects in this are just like insanely mind blowing. But they are in stark black and white, of course. Would they be better in color?
I don't think so, but I
Okay.
like black and white personally. I
No,
think
it does look
it's
cool. And I've seen people compare it to the look of a Twilight Zone, right? So, and it does look like a
Mhm.
Twilight Zone. Like I was with the astronomer. I was like, if this were a Twilight Zone, the telescope would like ironically crush him in some way.
I I
Like would start
personally
talking to him and then
yeah,
fall on him.
you just be like, "Ah, no, this
I
thing
love
never
you.
works."
I love you, master.
No.
Yeah.
Why are they always doing this?
Right, right. But
It's like that's the fifth one that's done it. Um, but but what was I gonna say? I feel like it might be sort of a thing. Like I grew up with everything being in color for the most part, except for well, we had a couple of black and white TVs, but I never really had to watch them. That maybe that's why I like black and white better. And if I'd grown up with black and white and then color had just come out, I would feel differently. It's
I
like
see.
my mother like specifically requested that like the TV be set so that the image is stretched to fill the whole screen, even though it makes everyone's faces look weird and stretched. You know what I mean? Because she wants the whole screen filled up. Because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
just never had like a 37-inch screen before.
So we need to invite two more people to Zoom because we're like CinemaScope as far as the screen's concerned.
Well, see, it's like we. Well, I forgot the point I was making.
We bought letterbox VHS, man, to watch
We would
on.
okay, yeah, here's an example. Like it's like we probably hate watch. You probably hate watching movies on your phone, right?
You right?
Whereas a lot of people grew up with large TVs, so they sort of don't care about watching it on their phone because like large TVs are everywhere.
You've seen the David Lynch thing, right?
Which David Lynch thing?
It's some like PSA he made. Like it's a Lynchian PSA where
Is he
he's
like,
like,
don't watch movies on your phone, so like that?
he said, if you watch the movie on your iPhone, you didn't watch the fucking movie. It's like the only time I've ever heard him curse.
Wow. Ah,
Like he was serious
listen
about not
up.
watching.
Ah.
Like I'm pretty sure that's the only time I've heard. I mean, David Lynch curse. I mean, people in his
I
movies, of
mean,
course, but
no, I mean I listened to a 16-hour biography where it was like 8 of the hours were him talking, and I don't think he cursed. He said the word penis a bunch.
well,
He
that's
talked about his penis a lot and
yeah,
other
sure, why
people's
not?
But I don't think that he, yeah, I don't think that he said fuck. So
was
that's interesting.
was he one of the oh God, what were they called? The groupies who went around making plaster casts of Rockstar Wangs. Plaster
Cynthia
casters.
Plastercaster.
Yeah.
I think he's into transcendental meditation. So that's
Okay.
what,
And plaster
adjacent?
casting. Yeah. I think they're pretty close. I think they do them both at the same retreats.
That was Stevie Wonder's thing at some point, right? Because he had that song about it.
Oh yeah. Plaster caster. I remember that song.
No. It's a song about transcendental meditation, but no, Plastercaster is a different song.
I thought you were making a joke about Master
Plastercaster.
Blaster.
Yeah, Master Blaster Plastercaster.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were trying to make a pun there that like only three people would get.
I think that I assume that Stevie Wonder had his plaster cast done, and he sort of like just pretended to not know what was going on, but he knew exactly what was going on.
I heard he also lacks a sense of smell.
What?
That's that because in Walk Hard, if you remember, Dewey doesn't he can't smell, right?
I don't remember
But then
that,
it's a
but
miracle. But yeah, I heard something like Stevie Wonder also does not have the sense of smell, which I'm like, man, that's kind of depressing. Can't see, can't smell. I guess you can make pretty good music though.
unless
That's cool.
I mean, unless you believe the conspiracy theory that he can see,
What's the point of that conspiracy theory?
because it's fun conspiracy, because it's a fun conspiracy theory that doesn't hurt anyone, basically. It's
Because
something like I think he was in an elevator with like Shaquille O'Neal, and he like said something like, "What's up, my tall brother?" And then Shaquille O'Neal was convinced. I think it was something like that.
if he knew Shaquille O'Neal was there and someone told him he was tall, it kind of works out.
He probably could hear Shaquille O'Neal breathing like a foot
That
above his head.
that is the breath
Probably.
of Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, because you got
Don't
other
you?
clues. Because yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like this conspiracy theory because whenever I listen to Talking Book or Inner Visions, I have him like visions of him drumming.
Well, I mean, it is pretty exciting to add that depth to. I mean, you don't need anything else to enjoy his music, but there's the exciting depth of it to just know that he's not that he made all that not being able to see. It's kind of like inspirational, right? But without being cheesy.
Although you said it's the conspiracy theory that doesn't hurt anyone, but I think maybe you heard about the whole Paul is dead thing.
Is this a new Paul is Dead thing?
No, it's the old one. I used to look at the website because
Oh,
that's a fun one. I'm like, it doesn't hurt anyone, right? And then I
yeah.
look at it a few months ago. I hadn't checked it for a few years, and like the top, like the 10 newest articles were all about like Jew World Order.
Oh no. What?
Yeah,
Ah.
it went from hey, I think Paul McCartney actually died in 1966 to um Jew World Order. I'm like, that's weird. Like they still have McCartney at the top of the page and stuff, like a few McCartney images and like a Sergeant Pepper drum head, and it's like Paul is dead, and then it's like all the articles have nothing to do with him
It's
or
just like
everything to do with him.
it's almost like the bottom of every slippery slope is anti-Semitism.
Yeah, that's my point. I bet you could go from Stevie Wonder can actually
Oh
see to
no.
anti-Semitism without too much trouble.
Oh no.
Because that's what our fellow podcaster Luke told me for a long time. I just didn't quite believe him, and then when I got to that, I was like, "Come on,
Hmm.
some are just fun, you know." And I'm like, "No, oh wow, they someone went from this like wacky, let's listen to the Beatles lyrics and find things and album covers to Jew World Order." Yeah,
Yeah, I've barely dipped a toe in any of that stuff, and even I've seen where it seems to kind of head that way at some point. I mean, I don't know. The Time Cube guy probably even. I bet the Time Cube was anti-Semitic at some point.
he was anti everything. He was
Yeah,
anti you
but
agreeing with him. If you agreed with him, you'd like
and
be, no, you don't understand.
unfortunately, I know some people who are like that in real life. But
What if the universe were like you did a time cube documentary like in this style? That would be pretty cool. In
do you
black
do
and
it?
white with the austere effects.
Or maybe we should just do a 16-part podcast on the Time Cube and do like a video component of it. Just have like cheap cube computer animation the whole time. I'm
Uh,
I'm I'm amazed if nobody's done like a serious Time Cube like breakdown.
well, I was gonna say, uh, Gene Ray, the world's the world's wisest human was like a a total prick. Like some guy did show up and tried to be like his right hand man or whatever for a while, and that dude ended
Hmm.
up like committing suicide or something. Like it's
Ugh.
actually kind of dark. Yeah, like
Oh,
dude,
here we go. Indiegogo for Time Cube, a short film based on the story of internet sensation Gene Ray meeting his superfan. Oh boy, is it that guy who
yeah, I think you're getting
uh
to that story. Yeah,
anyway, it raised $871. That
you can
doesn't
make a
seem.
movie for that, right? You can make a time cube movie for that much money.
You could probably make a Time Cube for that much money.
You just get some cardboard boxes.
Yep.
That was fun. We had summer school, and my coworker who's Maddie, because I'm Matt, right? So he has to be Maddie,
Hmm.
and
Right.
he's a boxer, and we had all these boxes for like we had like kind of this Minecraft lesson for the kids, and
Hmm.
we it was the end of summer school, so he was like, I'm gonna box the boxes, and he had the kids like holding them, and he was like kickboxing them, and destroyed them all that way, and had kids kickboxing them, and and afterwards he's like, oh crap, I was going to use that box for my Halloween costume. He's going to make into a car and be Fast and Furious, right? But he boxed the boxes, so it didn't work
Who
out.
boxes the boxman?
Exactly, yeah.
So
So
I looked for Time Cube website, and like one of the first things on the page says click here to support Time Cube, and it just has a button that says click PayPal button to transfer funds.
like what, all of them?
Yeah, I guess if you want. It just has like a picture of the cube rotating, and it says click PayPal button to transfer funds. That's it. That's the whole page.
Okay, I think I'm gonna
The
skip
guy's
that.
just straight up just give money, please. I
Mm.
wonder if he's made more money than the documentary has.
He asked me to punch a pencil yesterday. I broke it in half, so now I'm
Time
Cobra
Cube guy
Kai.
or Maddie?
Maddie. I
Okay.
think the Time Cube guy's dead actually.
Well, that would be funny to donate money to
Well, I think the movie, I
nothing.
felt, I mean, that's a documentary made by someone else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's obviously not him, but I don't remember. I'm unfortunate I haven't kept close tabs on Dr. Gene Ray, the world's wisest human. So um
Well, maybe I should just make Time Cube the musical.
that'd be awesome. You should. Yeah. You have a new, will it be as good as Knights in White Satin, the trip? Do you know what that is?
No, is that based on the song Nights in White Satin?
Yeah. Do you know Hard Rock Park?
No.
It was in Myrtle Beach in 2008 for like 3 months, and it looked insane. And they spent all their money building it, so they didn't have any money to promote it. So you and I were like, just a few scant hours away, and never got the chance to ride Led Zeppelin the ride.
Ah, geez.
I
Had
know,
no
or
idea.
the
If
Cars
you
RPM, or what was the other one? The Eagles had a ride, I think. Life in the Fast Lane, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
did you ever go to what Disney Hollywood Studios and ride the Aerosmith ride?
yeah, that was awesome.
It was great. It's one of the best roller coasters ever.
It's still there.
And
They have not gotten rid of
yeah,
Aerosmith in Florida yet. They did
still
everywhere
there.
else, but
And
they
there's
still got.
also one at Universal where you can pick a song to play.
Oh, that's good because
Um,
they just force you to listen to an Aerosmith song on that one. It's like you just got in the jaded car.
well, to me it was great because we had just gone on the Twilight Zone
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror, so and I knew we were gonna do Aerosmith next, so I just kept singing "Love in an Elevator," and that was the song it gave us. Because it depends on what limo you ride in, it'll give you different songs.
I heard they re-recorded it to be "Love in a Roller Coaster."
Weird.
Did
Are you
well,
sure you're
maybe
not
maybe
thinking of the Ohio Players?
no. I'm specifically thinking of Aerosmith slightly retweaking the song because remember at the beginning of the ride they're re-recording "Walk This Way" for like the 80th time, right?
What's like a VHS from 1990 something where they're barely acting at all. It's like that's part of what's so great about the ride is it's just this terrible performance on a VHS tape where they talk about how they're gonna give people a ride or whatever.
And yeah, uh, and in my mind, since I haven't ridden that ride since probably around the year 2000, in my
Okay, I'm
mind,
looking. Sorry, I'm looking at the YouTube rip from the Rock and Roller Coaster, and it says "Love in an Elevator," so I think it stayed "Love in an Elevator."
oh, that's too bad. I like my
Oh
theory.
no 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 no! Wait, Wikipedia says different. Wikipedia says it's sung. Love and a Roller Coaster.
All right.
So someone's lying, I guess.
There's my ridiculous knowledge. My yeah, lots of pointless trivia stuck in my head there. um, I want
Uh,
I want to talk about this astronomer guy in universe a bit because he was just like the biggest bore ever. And then that other guy shows up. I'm like, is that his doppelganger? That was the other part where I thought it might turn into a Twilight episode because I'm like, oh, there's the same guy twice.
well, the thing that got me was that he kept like climbing over all this stuff that looked insanely dangerous. It looked like he could have made one wrong step, and he was didn't look like he was wearing sensible shoes or anything. He was kind of just climbing over these like beams. It looked like he could have just fallen off, and at the end you see him just drive off. And he's the only one parked there. So I feel like, is it possible this guy could have just slipped and fell and died, and nobody would have found him because nobody was watching him?
Oh, who is the other guy that talks to him then?
Nope, I don't know. There's no car. The narrator just exists.
That must have been a construct of his imagination then.
Maybe,
Yeah. But
maybe it's his guardian angel.
yeah, I was like this certainly makes astronomy look like hardcore, not fun as you look for your paper chart and use your little I guess it's not a sextant or maybe it is, I don't really know what that means anyway, except that it has the word sex in it.
Oh, that was kind of cool. It just reminded me of like when someone reads your astrology chart, but it was like not fake.
Or a slide rule. I'm sure he had some slide
Yeah,
rules.
kind of
So
cool. It was kind of cool. It was like what when I'm trying to think. Wasn't there some game where you had to like chart out a thing, chart out a course? Am I thinking
probably
of just yeah? I can't think of what a tabletop game.
Twilight Princess.
Sure, the tabletop version of Twilight Princess where you have to draw your path for your werewolf to go.
Okay. There. I think we got several things wrong there. That's great. um
Luke's gonna go right into Facebook Messenger and tell us how we're wrong.
um did you rock the telescope at Fernbank in Atlanta, I'm sure.
Yes, a little bit.
So I mean, yeah, that's my experience with one of these things. Because we went there several times. I think, yeah, when I was a kid, we went there like somewhat often, if I remember. But yeah, light pollution so terrible. It was like, let's look at the moon again.
Yeah, I mostly was. I feel like I was on the nature trail more than I was in like the space component for whatever reason,
Okay. Now I think I was getting spacier more often.
and
Uh,
also pushing the button on the tornado machine like a lot.
oh yeah, that was awesome. Although the nature trail, the one behind it is an old growth forest, which is pretty rare in general. So that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
If
Yeah, the nature trail is really cool.
so the trees are just
Nothing
like,
against that.
it's one of the few places you can see like what things would look like if people weren't around.
True.
Yeah, with just those
It,
massive ass trees. I mean, there are people, obviously, there's trails and people walking the trails, so it's not completely untouched. But
I think the last time I went to the planetarium was with you and your wife.
that sounds like a possibility. Although we were a few years ago, we were hitting planetariums, and Japan still has a few, and so it was like Drymon at the planetarium. That was kind of fun.
Drime on it.
Drymon, do you know Drymon? He's like the Japanese
Drymon?
Mickey Mouse. He's a robotic cat with no ears.
Cool.
Okay,
So
sorry,
what
I
does it yell at you and stuff?
no, it's just a story of him traveling through time and space,
Cool.
meeting
I think
dinosaurs.
the last time I went to a planetarium period was in the Air and Space Museum in Washington D.C. and it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about background radiation, and they were like had some new tech where they projected all over the entire planetarium, so it was like just like red stuff projected all over, and it was Neil deGrasse Tyson be like background radiation. That's just my Neil deGrasse Tyson voice.
Oh, this is the tech day of the Japanese one too. So the entire planetarium screen is like blasting you through a time tunnel. So
And then
I'm,
Neil
I'm
deGrasse Tyson is like, the physics are incorrect and Prometheus.
what?
I'm
What
just
about
doing a Neil
Prometheus?
deGrasse Tyson voice. It's like insultingly over
Yeah, I was gonna say
exaggerated.
it's like it's like crossed with like gravelly Yoda or something.
I mean, he does kind of sound like Yoda. He doesn't sound weird like that because it's hard to do the voice, so that makes it go.
That, that is
I'm on Twitter.
It's like the guy on Tim and Eric that does impressions, and they're all the same.
Yes.
And it just says spaghetti and meatballs at the end is like his particular like twist on that's his like personal stamp.
Star Wars represents spaghetti and meatballs incorrectly.
There.
In space.
I also just since now we're on Tim and Eric, I just kept thinking of their universe episode. The universe is so it's like a
Yeah, that's like a gift for the ages now.
I know. So
Eric is going.
now that this is not what they're looking at. Oh, one effect shot that was crap. They show a few planets, right? And the Earth looks completely terrible. And there's
Yeah,
no
I
clouds.
put
It's
in
like
my notes.
misshapen.
Earth looks stupid. My notes just say that Earth looks dumb, and we're back to stupid Earth. There's and there's something where there's a star that looks like an egg.
Yeah, I wrote notes on the planets. They say Mercury is hell, but I want to explore these fantastic models. Venus is a penis, a dense, cloudy, unknowable one. Broccoli in space. That was the asteroid belt. And then I just like wrote Jupiter is Hep, except for the fake host on the soundtrack. And then there's like a cave of Jupiter. The rings of Saturn are constructed from conspiracy theories. Where is Uranus? Okay. And where's Neptune? Do I even mention Neptune? Oh,
They
and
went past. They said they skipped that along with Uranus.
okay. I wrote fuck Pluto. That's not a planet, not anymore.
I still don't co-sign this Pluto erasure. We could still study Pluto even if it's not a planet.
No,
It's
you
still
can't study it.
cool.
You can't
It's
study it.
cool.
No studying
I
of
like
Pluto.
it.
You can't study it. It's not a planet. We only
I
study
swear it's
planets.
not. It has nothing to do with any kind of adult Disney fixation. I think Pluto's cool.
It's not even a moon, man. You can study a moon if you want, but you can't study Pluto. You're
It's
barred
like
from
a
it.
binary satellite or something. Is that what it's called? Because there's
They
another one.
well, they I think they say planetoid.
Planetoid. That sounds
Yeah.
even cooler. That's a cooler name than planet.
Okay. So
I
you're
wish I
saying
lived on a planetoid.
we'll move to Pluto.
Maybe I will.
Okay. What was your favorite shot in this? Mine might have been of the street meat.
I think
I just wanted to eat the street meat when I saw it. I got hungry.
free meat.
It looked good.
I think the first look at Jupiter really ruled. It was pretty
Okay.
insane.
I guess my real answer is the black and white Beeger shot, but of exiting the galaxy.
Well, yeah, and I liked the Mercury and Venus, like whatever you call them, planetscapes.
Mm.
'Cause
Um,
it looked cool. They looked cool.
One thing I was thinking because I like to go in the idiom that I don't believe in anything, and I'm
Hmm.
like, ever wonder if our indirect observations may actually be wrong, where they're talking about how we don't, even now we don't directly like, we don't directly sample stars, right? It's still like spectroscopes and stuff. And what if we're wrong about that?
So you think maybe you go to like Mercury and it'd be like 55 degrees?
Oh, well, maybe. I'm just saying because it's all from spectroscope. And what if that is I mean, we're all like, yeah, sure, of course, but it could, we don't know. There could be like a fundamental problem with it that we just won't find out for like hundreds of years.
I think human indifference is going to win out in the end because like the new what is it, Webb telescope went online and I and several other people posted like whatever the picture of all the galaxies that were clearer than we'd ever seen before, and most people were just like making fun of it
We have to put it by a Hubble shot to
because they
really
had to see it.
get it.
Well, people had to see it a couple of times, so they're just like, it's a dead meme now. The
Yeah.
universe. The universe is a dead meme. That's the 2022 version of this movie. Is
The
like
universe
it's
is
just
a
the
dead
guy
meat.
being like, "Oh, this is Mars. Like you've never heard of Mars, you idiot. Stupid red Mars. Red is out. Red is so 2015, you idiot. Look at these stupid rings. They're not even cool looking, dummy."
That would be a fun documentary.
I'm
Well,
just gonna re-record this with like narration. It's just like, look at stupid Mercury. It's not even does not even any Mercury on it.
he did talk about the cold, dark dwarves, which I thought I was like, that's a little rude of you there, Doug.
You
Oh,
whistle while you work.
okay. This is where I'm gonna put out my new business plan. I'm looking for a
Hmm.
partner. I want to get like made like scale models of tractor trailer trucks, half sized, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then we hire a bunch of little people to drive them. And because they're smaller, we call it the limited shipping and delivery, so that the trucks can say on the front and on the sides LSD.
You know what?
Uh,
I'm gonna pull all my funds from the Time Cube documentary and invest them into limited service delivery.
yeah, that'd be cool, right? I mean, just think about you. You're coming out of a bar or a little toasty, and then on the street you see like this half-sized truck with a little person driving it, says LSD on the side.
Yeah, it can only travel like 1,500 miles instead of 3,000 miles,
Would it
right?
be able to? Oh, that's a good question. Would it
It would
own?
go half as long.
I'm thinking about speed actually. I'm thinking should they drive them just at like on the highway at 30 miles an hour?
Can you make them low enough that they could pass under larger trucks?
No, because they're half sized.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that's my new business. I'll start a Kickstarter for that. GoFundMe,
Okay.
whatever. Okay.
And I'll go fund. I'm gonna go fund me Time Cube the musical.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a shower. Is there anything else with this film you want to throw out?
Universe pretty cool. I mean, it's probably cooler outside of this stupid solar system that we're all sick of. But, at least they didn't film chorizo and pass it off as a star.
What if the sun is just a portal to other planes of there?
Okay, but it's sort of like a black hole where like do you want to try? Do you want to try going through the sun? Do you want
Like
to
go
send anything through the sun? Can we
I want to
make anything that would go through the sun?
I want to go beyond the sun.
Beyond the sun? Isn't that a, isn't that a Soundgarden song?
There's a Chili Pepper song called "Behind the Sun." No, we just on the sci-fi one. We just did a Battle Beyond the Sun, and we're like, well, that doesn't really mean anything, does it?
I've never even. What is that?
It was a 1960s Moz film sci-fi,
Neat.
which may have I don't know about this, but may have also slightly influenced 2001 because it has like not Russian and it's North Hemi and South Hemi scientists meeting on a rotating wheel space station. So I'm like,
Whoa.
that feels a little bit like 2001.
All right.
But then they give up on any semblance of let's be realistic about gravity after showing you that space station.
Well.
The rest of the gravity in that movie makes no sense. But hey, they at least made a token like, hey, we understand about gravity in this movie a little bit. So that's kind of cool. This movie understands gravity, I guess, except we're just seeing
Yeah.
massive interstellar bodies which don't care about gravity.
Yeah. They're not gonna like show someone jumping around on Uranus.
Mm, not in this film. It's a family film.
No, there's no Uranus at all in this. I can't believe it.
That's family film, man. You can't just put that on public TV all willy nilly.
Well, I like that. I like the fact that they just kind of go through the solar system at the end. They're just like, what if we just kept going and then reached the end of it?
Mm.
Like we're going straight from the solar system to just the edge of the entire universe.
Well, again, that would be the well known Eames film, right? Powers of 10 that does that.
Ah, yes, that would get there.
Yeah.
That'd get you
Um,
there. I don't think
um,
that. Do you think that Star Trek is ever going to do something where they just go from galaxy to galaxy because they're just like, screw it, there are no limits anymore. No
well,
limit Star Trek.
they made a big deal about going out of the galaxy in the last season of Discovery.
I have not watched that yet.
Okay, they just go like right out of the galaxy, which is difficult, and then they have like to deal with like the aliens from Arrival or something.
Cool. Yeah, there
Mm.
there probably should be there probably should be something just outside of every galaxy that's just like weird tentacle cops or something, right? It
Then I
seems
guess I
only
guess
fair.
I guess Discovery season 4 is your bag, baby.
Can I skip everything else?
Yeah, sure, why not? Who
Can I
cares?
skip seasons 1 through 3? When's the
Um,
time jump? When's the
no,
time jump? Is it 2?
no, then
3?
yeah, at the end of season 2. But
Is that a spoiler? Did we just ruin someone's life?
I don't know. I was gonna tell you just to watch Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks instead.
I'm caught up on Lower Decks
Okay.
and also shockingly good Andor.
Yeah, yeah. I keep hearing that. Maybe I'll get to it at some point. Like,
I
so,
would
yeah,
never ever come on this podcast and say watch a Star Wars thing, and here I am saying that Andor is shockingly good
okay.
so
I'll
far.
maybe have a look see at that at some point. It's almost Halloween. What's up?
Oh, I don't know. Go to stoneriderbandcamp.com. Maybe there's stuff up there. Maybe there's just a spooky Halloween absence, which is the most terrifying thing of all, isn't it? An empty webpage.
Should I be a lion
Do
or
you
should
have
be?
a witch in a wardrobe that can follow you around?
Oh,
Could maybe be a witch and then
I'm sure there'll
Hana
be
be a
kids.
wardrobe?
I'm sure there'll be plenty of witches. This is at the where I teach, right? I'm still. It's stressful
Okay.
this year. I don't know what I want to do for Halloween. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know Maddie, but maybe he could be the witch and then Luke could be the wardrobe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go for that. But anyway,
Ah,
this is which podcast is this? It's Oral
oral
Hygiene.
hygiene.
You can find Oral Hygiene, Oral Hygiene Pod at Twitter, Facebook. You can dig this with other podcasts and throw us a dime on Patreon with Podcastio Podcastius, where we also talk about sci-fi films, as I've already mentioned. The Twilight Zone, which we also mentioned, and there's Luke Loves Pokemon about the Pokemon, and Monster Mash about the Monster Hunter, and the Game Show about the games. I think I got it all out.
Games.
I don't know. I just there's you end up saying game a lot when you talk about that show.
It's a game show about games. It's true.
You say game about twice as many times as you say show. You know.
It's like the Game of Thrones without the thrones or the of.
Right. Oh, sorry. One more thing. Nebulae. I thought nebulas was
Nebulae.
okay.
He said nebulae.
Yeah. Okay. I wrote I.
Nebulae.
That was
I didn't.
weird.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I put that in my notes. Nebulae? Question mark.
That's exactly what I wrote, but I pronounced the I wrong. But
He
then he
said.
says it.
He definitely said nebulae.
Then he made it up by saying a continent of stars, which is good because I need some names for my weird binaural tracks. So,
Yeah, nebulae just sounds like some like weird pasta that isn't ready.
okay. When will it be ready
Halloween.
in the universe? Okay, I guess when am I actually airing this?
It'd
it's
be
that's
great if this was like November 15th.
no, it's not that late. Let's see. This weekend is yeah, it makes sense. It's gonna be like October 15th or 22nd because sometimes I just don't bother putting an oral hygiene out every week here and there now.
Mhm. Yeah, you
well,
don't have to do things regularly, I don't think, unless you.
no,
I think that's like if unless you absolutely have to.
yeah, oral hygiene's kind of become the screwing around podcast. Like I don't, sorry, I don't really promote it much. I might have even stopped doing it, but since we've been doing the Disney films, I'm like, I gotta at least like follow that line.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to promote the thing because sometimes I don't see your posts about it even, and then like
If it's
sometimes
oral
it's
hygiene, I
really.
don't. But time enough, you should see it. I do a fair amount of promotion for that, and usually I'll do some for the sci-fi sanctuary stuff. But I really should do more for the oral hygiene. I'm lazy. But I
It's
found
hard
this.
to like. I mean, I sort of. I mean, like I said, I have a friend at work that started listening to everything like sort of up and down, and I was like, well, you can listen to oral hygiene, but you'll probably have to watch a bunch of shit to understand it, and I don't think that he's like super down with that.
But that's kind of
But
where the Disney series also helps because I mean people know those movies, you know.
yeah. I told him
So
to just listen to Duck Soup. You've seen Duck Soup, right? And you're like, yeah, of course.
okay, yeah, that's why I was kind of focusing on the more like just the cult films for a while, right? Um,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah,
it's so much fun to watch these educational things for the first time.
yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
more fun to do them, even if we just end up going completely off topic for almost the entire time.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm doing like the crystal meth of promotion, but this works for Twilight Zone because of course there's Facebook pages for Twilight Zone,
Hmm.
and if I just post a link and like let the transistor picture go, like nobody notices it, right? So what I
Hmm.
do is I post the link, erase that picture, and then just put in a picture. And like this week is Nick of Time, so I just put up the picture of Shatner with, and time. What did I write? Stop Shatner time, time enough podcast link. I put the link, and then I just put a picture from the episode. And it's got like, again, this I don't think this necessarily translates to people actually listening, but it's like 400 and almost 500 people have like reacted to your photo. It's like, okay, what did they do to see it? And like, and then there's like 40 comments. I'm like, are those bots? What's going on here?
Oh, it's just the algorithm. Like if you post what Facebook doesn't want you to post, it'll bury it. Like it doesn't, there's no like correlation between how good whatever it is you're posting is and how many people see it. And I try to tell people that I have a couple of friends who are like, I guess everyone's unfollowing me because nobody likes my post. I'm like, no, dude, you're just not gaming it correctly, or Facebook is burying your shit for some obscure reason. Like that's
Anyway,
probably it. You're
I
not you,
seen I found something that the Facebook algorithm likes them doing it that way.
yeah.
Because the first time it was like it was just like the transistor picture didn't wouldn't come up. And I was like, oh, that sucks. So I was like, I'll just put a picture there, right? And I did that,
Questions.
and then questions where
Post
I
questions.
no,
That'll always work.
I figured that out already.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I
because I
noticed,
know a couple people who game it like that, who game Facebook like that for just obviously just for like for shits and giggles, just
yeah,
or just to keep like attention pouring in. But
this week I just couldn't help but write stop Shatner time. But yeah, actually I will often do a question because yeah, because I noticed it'll say like instead of like 20 people have commented, like 20 people have answered your question. I'm like, oh, it's treating it differently. So I did notice that. So I kind of yeah, I stumbled into both of those little tactics. It only seems to really work well for the Twilight Zone.
hmm. Well,
Occasionally it'll work well for one of the sci-fi sanctuary ones, but
I
yeah,
don't
not
know.
that often.
It might be because Twilight Zone is sort of a maybe that's just a topic that generates more engagement or something.
I
I
hate
got
this.
into I'm into like season 2 now, by the way.
Yeah.
Man, there's some good shit. The one where the genie turns the guy into Hitler and then
It's
like
great.
this
Have you
I'm on
gotten to
the
the
Satan one
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was about
I'm
to say
like
the Howling
middle
Man.
of it rules.
Mm-mm.
And the one
No.
where the robots kill the guy or the TV and the car and the electric shaver kill the guy. He was like the worst character ever made.
Yeah. Did you play those podcasts?
Not yet.
Okay.
I kind of been mainlining him this week just because I had a little extra time.
Uh I've been mainlining the podcast The Ride recently, which is why I was like one of the reasons I was probably spewing out so much random theme park trivia.
Cool. I was not aware of that. I sometimes fuck around on the subreddit that's like the roller coaster subreddit, but I haven't like listened to any podcasts about it. Is that like just the history of rides or something?
Yeah, it's I think one of the guys is or was a writer for Conan or something. Conan, sorry, that's the
Oh
Japanese
no,
detective.
no.
Conan. Sorry, well, we got
Is it
Conan the
on his
detective.
network?
Um,
Oh,
there's
Conan.
a
I thought you meant Conan O'Brien.
yeah, yeah, he's
Never
a
mind.
writer. That's what I
Oh,
meant. He's
okay.
a writer. He's a writer or something for Conan O'Brien and
Oh,
two
because
other
he
guys.
has like a shitload of podcasts now. I think on his network. It's like I
What's the
used to listen to his podcast kind of religiously, and it's like since I don't deliver anymore, I'm like
what's
don't
the
have
name of
enough
the
time.
network?
Uh, fuck, I don't remember. Conan.
Okay, I don't think it's on that
I
one
don't
then.
remember.
Anyway, it's one of those podcasts where it's like seems like kind of mid-level celebrity, right? Like if I try to just invite them, they might not
It's just Team Coco
bite.
podcasts.
Yeah, that's not what these guys are on. But
Okay.
yeah, look up podcast The Ride. There's they get wildly off topic and it's kind of fun
God,
sometimes.
he has. I'm looking at the page for his network, and it literally has like 16 podcasts on it. It's
Yeah,
just shit is out of control, man. You
but
gotta
yeah,
like, you can't make 16 podcasts. You gotta stop at like 4.
but I was listening. Well, he's probably not on all of them.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's probably
Yeah,
not on like he's not on 15 of them,
right.
probably. But
So
still, it's just
exactly,
like,
your network can have that many. But yeah, like I was actually listening to Rock and Roll and Roller Coaster yesterday, and then went and did my own watching the ride through and reading the wiki and all that sort of shit. So because
mm.
although it is a pretty crap video because it's a fast roller coaster, I remember what it was like enough. I mean, it's fun, but it's cheesy, right? I mean, it's all like
I
black
mean,
light stuff.
but it's indoors though, so it's just like it's the novelty of a dark ride roller coaster, which there aren't very many of. There are like what 3 of them or something, 4. There's
They
like
just turned
Space
the
Mountain and like a few more in the US and like one in Europe somewhere.
Universe of Energy into one into Epcot.
Ooh. Oh yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which I'm it's pretty hyped to write actually. I don't know how I'm gonna fit that in, but before I forget, I've got 3 rounds done for whatever game show whenever we do that. Like how
Okay,
many rounds? Do I need 5?
three,
3 rounds total?
three rounds.
Should I make the rounds longer? I guess I should
Yeah,
make the rounds longer.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
I
the
could, cause
rounds are
like
fine.
every time I listen, it's like this weird fever dream, and all the rules go out the window, and I'm like, I had no
And
fucking idea what
you
happened.
you may or may not have noticed that the lengths of them wildly vary. There's like episodes that are like 35 minutes, and some of them are like an hour 20. So,
Okay. Well,
so
I think I can extend the one I have. Like I have all these ideas that I have to save for when I like host it when they're doing it because they're like they would just confuse the rest of you.
yeah, yeah.
Well, they wouldn't
Um,
confuse my friend Chelsea, but they would confuse you and Jeff and Andrew.
okay, but yeah, we'll work out before too long. Like my original plan was to have them do Mr. Dingle the Strong because that's kind of a silly episode. And then
Yeah.
Luke was like, "Wouldn't it make more sense to do it like April 1st?" And I was like, but then I was like looking at where Time Enough will be. I'm like, man, there's like heavy episodes surrounding April 1st. I'm like, I don't know.
Eh,
But I mean, we
but
can
that I
record it.
mean,
And it could come out like 6 months later. So, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, but maybe the heavy one would be the best one to do. I don't know. I
That's
guess it
my
depends
thing.
on how much you like it, but
Yeah,
I think
I want to go
I'm a,
Mr. Dingle the Strong. So that's my and just do it. Call it a swap cast. It doesn't even have to be like a fool you. But anyway, either way, we can record it. So and it'll just come out sooner or later.
that's true. We don't yeah, we're not beholden to a schedule.
Yeah, you just might have to hold your breath for the release. So
Just won't
just like Robert David Carradine.
yeah, just tie a noose around my neck and stand on a chair and wait for the release.
Right. But
Oh God.
yeah, I think I remember Andrew was basically telling me he didn't have his Thursday nights until October, so I haven't actually messaged him in the past couple weeks. But
Well, October might be super empty for me, or it might not. I don't know what's happening.
yeah,
I'm
that's
just
kind of why it's
like
like if it is, that's probably worth doing it, right? Do
things
recording that
are
and
things are getting
Dracula
weird.
because Luke's still in the UK, so maybe next week or the week after would be Dracula.
Okay, yeah, just give me like enough of a heads up, or I'll just try and fit it in soon-ish, and
Yeah,
just so I can watch it soon-ish.
because next week, hold on, I want to see if I can look at my schedule. Can I look at my Zoom schedule while I'm on Zoom? Oh yeah, I can. There's
I
like a
don't know.
window. Yeah, you can.
You have a schedule? I didn't know that
I,
I didn't know that was even a thing.
yeah, I don't schedule yours. I send you links. But yeah, Wednesday, October. This is my so Tuesday night next week is Peter Pan. Thursday night next week is Dust. So we won't do the game show, but we maybe I need to talk to Luke, but maybe this time next week we could do Dracula.
Okay, I'm just gonna put a reminder on my calendar every day to watch Dracula, and then hopefully I'll get it done.
Watch Dracula. And then I just since
Watch
Andrew couldn't
Dracula.
do since I couldn't get him in time for Halloween, I'll just bump him to UHF, which I don't think he'll have a problem with.
Ah, UHF rules.
Yeah, because that weird movie comes out in early November, so we thought we'd do UHF to coincide with that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, it's not quite sci-fi; it's close enough. It's got the mysteries of the universe. That's sci-fi enough for me.
I mean, it's a sci-fi where the guy turns into an alien at the end, so that's like
Again, yeah, there's
right.
enough. There's enough. Yeah, there's enough there to call it a sci-fi for me. So
It's just like you could do Pee-wee's Big Adventure because Large Marge isn't whatever monster that's real.
that's more of a supernatural, right? But yeah,
It's still sci-fi. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, sure, why not? Uh,
Eh,
I do need to jump in the shower in a minute, but I just
All right.
got anything more interesting. Oh, I just got a bunch of like really like old, like the Sataya, the rental store. We still have a place you can rent movies from, but they've been selling all these like 50 cent CDs, like 50 cent. You get 50 cent albums and just all
You get
this
50 cent
ridiculous.
albums for 50 cent.
Yep. uh, I think the biggest hit so far, which I had not heard, was the Abstract Dragon. Have you heard that album?
Did you tell me about this before? I
I
don't
might have because I
remember.
might have
Whom?
because I got that one a few weeks ago.
Abstract Dragon by whom?
Buster Rhymes and the
Oh, right.
Abstract.
Yes, yes. It's been a while. It's been
Yeah.
a while, but
And I was buying stupid shit. Like I actually bought Black Eyed Peas albums just because Mimi likes them. But
mm, I think their first couple of albums were actually music, right?
Yeah. Actually, it was interesting because there's a Monkey Business album which blows like
Mm.
hard, but then the remix album like is actually not bad. Like you barely hear Fergie on it. Q-Tip does a track on there. It's got like
Mm.
real people like remixing the tracks. So yeah, that one I was like surprised that how much that one didn't suck.
I've been trying to find like weird. It seems like there's kind of a lot of weird house music trickling out.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
it sounds.
that's what people are doing that's weird.
No, I was just talking yesterday. Like I think I finally gotten on that kick of like I could give a fuck all about new music at this point, you know?
I've every time I think that I don't care about new music, I hear something that kind of jolts me awake, and this is just sort of
Also, I just in this
another
room,
one of
I just have
those.
an insane amount of physical media. So it's like there's lots of things here I've never
I'm
heard. I can just start like thumbing through these CD files and find something like, whoa, what's this? That's weird.
I think I'm just too mobile to like I have just shelves of records I never use. I have to like get rid of probably because I don't listen to them anymore because it's easier just to click a couple of times.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But well, I still play CDs in the car sometimes. I mean, sometimes I'll of course use my phone or something too. But a lot of times I will still rock a few CDs in the car. So
well, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think they'll this. I just have a CD in my car that someone gave me like 3 years ago, and it's just been in there the whole time because
but when
that's
Luke
the
or Maddie
CD
are
I
riding in
have.
the car, I can be like, "Here's 50 CDs. Find something you like or are interested in." But it's kind of I think it's fun to thumb through and see the artwork and stuff, which you just can't do digitally. You know, maybe
I
have a
just
look
feel like
at the liner notes.
I'm like, do you want to take over Bluetooth? And then they take over Bluetooth. Like that's how I usually do car stuff, and
I
then usually it's something I don't like, but I'm like, all right, fine.
think I've
I'll listen to your prog metal or whatever. Fine.
I think there is something some of the electromagnetic interference of us because I definitely feel like ew when the Bluetooth is on.
No, I mean Bluetooth is well. I mean you're listening to a more compressed signal. I mean it's
No,
gonna
I'm not.
sound.
No, I'm not talking about the sound. I'm saying like I feel like slightly nauseous when Bluetooth is on, and when I turn it off, I don't.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. So
That could. I don't know about that. I certainly haven't experienced that, but I'm not going to discount that you are more sensitive to radio waves than I am because I'm not sensitive to a whole lot of anything. I
okay.
also can't hear very well anymore. So,
So, but yeah, I think I am because there's a big transformer station nearby, and I feel a little queasy when walking by that as well. So because
yeah,
I remember for some
yeah,
reason I
that,
felt like standing there and talking to Scott one day, and I was like,
yeah.
finally, it's like I gotta move. I just feel I'm starting to feel like not good here.
Well, I
um,
mean, power stations definitely like there's more suicide near them, but that's also partly because there's just a constant buzz so that
yeah,
people
yeah,
hear.
yeah. But that could have been part of it. Um, anyway, the other homework I should give you, not for a podcast, is there's several documentaries on Hard Rock Park, so you should like look up one of them. Probably not one of the Urban Explorer ones, but one that actually shows stuff when it was like open. Definitely look at a Knights and White Satin ride through. You might have to go through a few to find one where they managed to get the song in though,
Mm.
because a lot of them change the music because of copyright, right? But you can find one or two that do have the song.
Well, it's like I went to Carowinds a few years ago in North Carolina, and that used to be I didn't know this until after I went, but it used to be known as Paramount's Carowinds. So basically, there's a wooden ride called the Hurler that used to be a Wayne's World ride, and there's like a ride called Afterburner that used to be a Top Gun ride, and there's still a Dale Earnhardt. Wow, holy shit! That's a cool roller coaster. I'm just looking at Hard Rock Park, which is now called Freestyle Music Park.
No, no, it's not even
Oh,
called
not
that.
anymore. It's not called
It,
nothing now.
it was open for about 3 or 4 months in the summer of 2008. It closed for the season, went bankrupt, lost its license, reopened as Freestyle Music Park, which was like basically just built on the bones of the old park. That was only open for one season, so that's another 3 to 4 months, and it's been closed ever since.
Wow. I'm looking at Suspicious Fires from a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
So that's
but
interesting.
yeah, try to find some actual 2008 footage. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see the urban fall apart. The other ride is have you seen the one about Garfield's Nightmare?
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually went to that park recently, Kennywood,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Kennywood,
it's
but they
not
don't.
there anymore.
No, no, I
It's
know
not
it's not
there
there.
anymore, but like
Isn't that
and
known
in
as
fact we
America's
didn't
worst
ride.
park?
Well, someone got shot recently because someone like threw a gun over the fence to somebody else, but
Just, I
I
mean, in general, isn't it supposed to be like a super shitty park?
nah, it's not. It's small, but like they have a couple of really cool wood. They had a wooden roller coaster that has like I think it said something like this is the only park that has a double dip, or the only roller coaster that still has a double dip, and it literally just goes like it was it 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 made me involuntarily scream Jesus Christ. It's
Oh,
like,
oh,
I
oh,
was like
do this.
Jesus Christ.
One more search. I still have a few minutes. I'm not pushing that hard. Flip
Yeah.
Flap Railway.
Flip Flap Railway.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. Wow. But yeah, I was also afraid of roller coasters until like 2012. And also, well, I also have I mean, I have motion sickness that I didn't realize would be less of a problem on a roller coaster than on a flat ride.
uh that yeah. Oh, okay. We went to
But
Epcot. I was like,
now
well, they don't have roller coasters.
yeah, my nausea is like almost unbearable on things like tilt-a-whirls now, unfortunately.
Did we do Mission Space?
Yeah, but I did the pussy version,
Oh, okay.
and I would still probably do that. I might,
What did
yeah.
I do?
I
Was like fuck
You
you, I'm
did the
going on
real
the
version. You did the
okay.
real version.
Did I vomit after?
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think you
didn't.
vomited at all.
I didn't vomit at all. I just was throwing that out there for fun.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean,
Just find
it's something. I'm not saying that it's like impossible, but yeah, okay, flip flap railway. That looks scary.
it would break people's necks.
Well, isn't there something in like Japan that was breaking people's backs recently? They had to like stop.
The Dompa, I've ridden that.
How was it? Is it cool?
I I thought when it ended, I was like, am I about to have a heart attack?
Damn. Yeah, it's weird because once I got over my fear of roller coasters, I became borderline obsessed with them, and I started going to like Six Flags constantly. This was when you were back in Japan in like 2013, 2014. I would
Yeah.
just go. There was one year where I was just like, I'm gonna ride 100 roller coasters in one year, and then I ended up hitting that in like 4 months because summer is when all the things are open.
I rode
But
the pirate ship, the swinging pirate ship, like 30 times in a row. One a few years
I
ago.
puked into my mouth the last time I rode that. I puked and swallowed it because I was like directly facing somebody, and I was like, I can't puke on my friend. I'm just gonna swallow this.
Ah.
Um, then
Uh,
my other friend who was next to me said it was the most badass thing he ever saw, and I did not feel like a badass. Um, but yeah,
but
I went to Cedar Point and rode almost everything there, and
maybe
I'm
the super
trying
shit
to
one is close to Cedar Point. I haven't been to
super.
any parks up there, so
Cedar Point has like 45 roller it says like it had so many that we had to go for 2 days to ride everything, like 2 full days from open to close.
wow.
But it has yeah, you look that stuff up. Like they had something that just got shut down because like the launch like gave someone brain damage because something flew off the ride. It was it's called Top Thrill Dragster and just looks like a giant penis, and you are launched at 120 miles per hour and you go 420 feet in the air and then back down, and it lasts like 12 seconds. It's like
Oh,
the most insane. It's insane. It's
that's
amazing.
actually pretty close to what the Dumpa did. So,
It's like a yeah, but it looks like just a giant dick, and they're like retheming it right now or
except
something.
the Dumpa would actually take you around the entire park, but in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I for sure whenever I get back to Japan would love to ride that if they allow people to ever ride it again.
Yeah, well, they got the Fujiyama roller coaster too, which is pretty hip.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it and it does look kind of like Top Thrill Dragster. But it's like, huh, weird. But it goes, oh my God, 180 miles per hour? Or oh no, 110, 180 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
Anyway, but it also has an inversion. Jeez,
Yeah. The
that's scary.
Flip Flap Railway. This can't be right, but apparently it would hit like 12 G's.
That
That's
seems
why people's necks were getting broken. And it was like one of the first roller coasters. Like they really didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
it's funny because the picture that's first thing on Wikipedia just shows someone upside down in the loop and it just looks like they're just there.
Is that
Like, so
which
this
one?
is in
The don't
Coney
fall?
Island.
Oh,
Huh.
flip flop. Yeah, flip flop was the real Coney Island. Yeah.
I went to Coney Island a few years ago and I rode the original Cyclone and they'd like replaced the seats with like leather love seats for some reason.
Oh,
I
weird.
rode it by myself, so I just kept sliding to left and right on the love seat.
Yeah, I wrote it by myself, but this was 2003, and it didn't have that. I
It
do,
was fun.
I did hurt my neck. I had a stiff neck for like 2 weeks after the cyclone. So
It was painful, but like
yeah,
the thing is, the Georgia cyclone before they ripped it out was far worse.
you
That was
think so?
like
I
it
actually thought
went
that one was
before.
better.
Did you go to it? But you didn't go to it in like 2014, 2015, because
Right,
that's when
right.
it got like really, it got way worse.
Okay, because it
Like
was actually like I remember writing
when
that and Coney Island like pretty close to each other and being like, oh, I like the Georgia one better.
no, the Georgia cyclone was fine until like a few years before they ripped it out and replaced it with this new the twisted cyclone. They made
Oh,
a built a whole new ride on it and it's awesome. I mean, it's like it's almost like neck and neck with Goliath for the best ride. Like it they put restraints around your legs like that's and it just right when you get to the top of the hill you just immediately like jackknife like upside you're hanging upside down for like a lot of it. It's really cool. It's a
okay.
great ride. Well, whenever what in the year 2023 55, whenever you come back, then we can ride it.
Yeah, that'll be changed then. Okay, I'm gonna hit the record.